Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Well, IT major Infosys turns 25 on Dalal Street today. Remember, the company started operations in 1981. At that point of time, they were doing revenues of just then what, $5 million, and they had only 250 employees. Today, things have changed dramatically. Reema's with us. She's going to run us through all those details. Reema, over to you.
Yes, and can you imagine that this company's IPO had to be bailed out 25 years ago? And now, if you'd invested, it's given a whopping return of 6,800 times. Yes, that's Infosys we're talking about, a company which needs no introduction. The company made its initial public offer at a price of 95 rupees per share in February 1993. But the bomb blasts in Mumbai had soured the risk appetite, and the issue had to be bailed out by Morgan Stanley, which picked up a 13% equity. It finally listed at 145 rupees per share, a whopping 60% return on day one. But that's not all. If you were the lucky one who had invested in the IPO and stayed on, the returns are staggering. 100 rupees invested 25 years ago are now worth 6.8 lakh rupees. Yes, we're talking about a return of 6,800 times, a staggering 42% compounded on an annual basis. So what makes Infosys stand apart from the rest of the pack, which enabled it to give these kind of returns? For one, it was the first pure-play IT services company to be listed. Wipro at that time was a conglomerate. The first Indian company to be listed on NASDAQ in 1999. It had a relentless focus on the highest corporate governance standards as well as data disclosure. Not just that, it democratized wealth creation. Its ESOP program made millionaires of so many of its early employees. It was the first company to start giving guidance, meeting analysts, the first company to publish US GAAP accounts in order to cater to the foreign investors. But let's take a look at how it all started. It started in 1981 by Narayana Murthy and 6 of his friends. You could call them the 7 Musketeers. Narayana Murthy at that time had borrowed 10,000 rupees from his wife, Sudha Murthy. In fact, it took them 2 years to get their first computer, and this was an IT company because that time the computer had to be imported. But come 1993, the company had a seminal moment when it listed on the Indian bourses, and it also launched its ESOP program. Let's fast forward a bit. Revenues have started kicking in. In 1999, the company listed on the NASDAQ and also managed to touch $100 million by way of revenues. By 2002, those revenues had now ballooned to $500 million, and there was a change of guard. Nandan Nilekani had taken over as the CEO from NR Narayana Murthy. In 2006, Infosys celebrated 25 years since its inception, and Narayana Murthy had stepped down. The grand old man of Indian IT had retired at the age of 60. As the years progressed, while the revenue growth kept moving up from $1 billion to $2 billion, but also the Lehman crisis had kicked in and growth rates had started slowing down in the Shibulal era. In 2013 is when Infy first got it with controversy, and Narayana Murthy had come back. Narayana Murthy's one of the jobs was to find a successor. So we come to 2014 when Vishal Sikka took over as the CEO and MD, and that was important because he was the first non-founder CEO of the company. Revenues at that time were close to about 50,000 crore rupees. However, Vishal Sikka's tenure was also full of ups and downs. In fact, there was a very public spat which was founded, and in 2017, Vishal Sikka stepped down, and the board had appointed Nandan Nilekani. So he made a comeback as well, which eventually led to Salil Parekh, who is the current CEO and MD. So yes, there have been a lot of ups and downs in the entire journey of 25 years of Infosys as a listed company, but it's been remarkable nonetheless. Back to you.
Thanks so much for that, Reema. In fact, earlier this morning, we spoke to Mr. Ramesh Thamani as well as Mr. Nilesh Shah. Let's hear out what they had to say about 25 years of Infosys.
Infosys is what Ford Motor Company was to America in the early 1920s, or what Google and Apple have been. It's a seminal moment in Indian equity markets. If you connect the two events that happened in our lifetimes, the fall of the Berlin Wall and for the last three, the listing of Infosys, you may not find much similarities, but you connect the two, one led to the other. I think once Infosys got listed, it created a cult of investors. Even if this company grows at 15–16%, it will deliver stunning value for shareholders, as it has done for the last 25 years. There are, of course, challenges that all great companies face. They have to reinvent themselves in the light of office automation, artificial intelligence, blockchain technologies, all these new things that are coming on in the world. And I think Indian companies have been a bit slow to adopt all these technologies.
If you are looking to get the similar return from Infosys which it has delivered in last 25 years, that's unlikely to happen because the base was so small. But can Infosys be still part of the portfolio and it can be like Mahendra Singh Dhoni? Undoubtedly, yes.
All right, that is Infosys at 25 years. But let's get back to the markets because things are under pressure. The Nifty is down close to about 80 odd points in line with the rest of the global markets, and the May WPI inflation at a 14-month high only makes things worse. Ashwini Gujral and Rajat Bose are joining us on the show now. Ashwini, your thoughts on the day so far? Do you see things getting worse?
See, I think the market is getting into an expansion phase on the downside. Now, this Bank Nifty expiry, it's easy to manipulate. You manipulate 3 stocks and the Bank Nifty refuses to fall. But my sense is that there is fairly strong pressure on the downside. Plus, we have, strong global tailwind. So chances are from here we should be moving lower and possibly on a multi-day basis. So still good time according to me to get short, keep a high of today as a stop. And I think a bit of a trending move is starting here. Having said that, Sun TV is a sell with a stop of 917, target of 890. Coal India is a sell with a stop of 285, target of 270. And Union Bank is a sell with a stop of 96, target of 88.
All right, Ashwini, thanks so much for that. Well, we are moving lower. Actually, a lot of these stocks are coming for selling pressure. You pull up the likes of India Cements, that stock's moved lower. Remember, JSW Steel as well is sitting at record highs. Now, that's coming for some profit booking as well. So just keep an eye out on a couple of these stocks. Just take a look at JSW Steel. That's moved suddenly to the low point of the day as we speak. Ashwini, I just want to ask you about JSW Steel. That's been making fresh highs. It's coming for some profit booking. If someone's looking to enter that stock, buy into it, at what level would you advise entering it?
Well, someone should be looking to sell into it.
Oh, okay.
Because you're sitting at the higher end of the range on Nifty. Plus, there's a global risk off that is in play.
Okay.
So it's, too late to buy things. This is a sideways market. You sell at the higher end of the range, which is broadly 10,900, 11,000. And you buy at the lower end of the band, which hopefully is 10,000, 10,100.
Okay, let's get in some more opinion then. Rajat Bose is also here with us on the show now. Rajat, do you also foresee expansion on the downside?
There is every likelihood of that. I would say that the chances are
10,000. And you buy at the lower end of the band, which hopefully is 10,000, 10,100.
Okay, let's get in some more opinion then. Rajat Bose is also here with us on the show now. Rajat, do you also foresee expansion on the downside?
There is every likelihood of that. I would say that the chances are that you would see if Bank Nifty were to fall below 26,450 or Nifty were to fall below 10,720, then this expansion will actually accelerate and we could see even much lower levels. So having said that, I would say that there would still be pockets where some buying will continue, but largely selling pressure would mount going forward. And I, for one, tend to think that yesterday's high would be a top for some time, at least for the next couple of weeks or so. That would definitely hold as a top, and Nifty is unlikely to get past that. For now, I have chosen 2 stocks. One is a buy, it's from the pharma sector, and another stock is a sell. Both I'm giving June futures levels. Sun Pharma, I would buy with a stop below 549, and targets will be 563 and 567. Bharat Forge is a sell. 651.10 is my stop loss, and 640 and 637 are the 2 targets. Apart from that, I just checked Nigel's India Cement. India Cement can also fall in spot level. The target would be 112 to about 111. It is likely to retest its recent low.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much for that, Rajat, as well as Ashwini. Well, European markets have opened up, so let's see the cues. We're getting it from there. Remember, today the big point that we're looking forward to is the ECB and what's their commentary and what they're going to do. Remember, there's talk of them winding down, their bond buying program as well. And for starters, those markets have started off in the red. Remember, yesterday as well, we did see some selling pressure on both these two markets. That's the FTSE as well as CAC. They ended mildly in the red in yesterday's trading session. And today as well, they're starting off with a cut of close to around 0.5% odd. All right, then let's slip into a short break on that note. On the other side, we'll focus on ICICI Securities. Remember, CLSA, they have initiated coverage with a buy rating on that company. Well, Dish TV is one stock that's trading in the green since early morning trade. Remember, yesterday, Big Bull, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, he had bought a small chunk in the company. We spoke to the management earlier today. Let's hear out what they had to tell us.
DTH category, we are having 37-38% market share. As we see as a total market share of cable and all put together and take the C&S home, then our market share is roughly around 18-20%. On the synergy side, what we are looking for this financial year, a synergy of 530 crore. Which includes some capex side as well as on the operation side, some revenue enhancement as well. So next financial year we are looking conservative, looking at a synergy of around 750 crores. In this country, if the ARPU for DTH Dish TV would have been in the range of $10, then the OTT would have been a very successful, or IPTV initiative would have been very successful. But like the Amazon or the Netflix, they also comes to us and they are willing to share 20% margin on the consumer who consume the content, sign up through us. So we at Dish TV, we are also working on pushing the hybrid box, that consumers in the same box can have OTT play as well as if he has a broadband at home.
Okay, gains continue for Dish TV. Let's move on. Baba Ramdev's Patanjali Ayurved is betting big on its non-FMCG business. Speaking exclusively to CNBC TV18's Priya Sheth, Patanjali's managing director Acharya Balakrishna says the focus for FY19 will be to launch its apparel business under the brand Paridhan and to also roll out solar panels for commercial sale.
अभी जो सोलर वाला शुरू किया था, क्योंकि हम लोगों ने जितनी भी अपनी यूनिटें लगाई, हमारे दिमाग में एक बात थी कि हम लोग सब जगह पर अपने सोलर पैनल लगाएंगे, छत पे लगाएंगे। तो मैंने मार्केट में पता किया तो मुझे पता चला कि वो काफ़ी कॉस्टली पड़ रहा है। तो हमने सोचा कि हम क्यों नहीं अपनी यूनिट लगा लें। तो अभी हमने यूनिट लगा भी लिया, मेरा प्रोडक्शन स्टार्ट भी हो गया। बहुत बड़ा तो नहीं, बट अभी हम लोगों ने करीबन अभी लगा रहे हैं अभी करीबन 6 यूनिट 6 मेगावाट पर मंथ, यानी कि करीबन 60 मेगावाट का हमारा प्लांट है। उसको हम बढ़ा भी सकते हैं, एक्सपांड भी कर सकते हैं, बट अभी देखेंगे। अभी तो बाकी इतना ही कर रहे हैं।
तो ये सोलर पावर पैनल्स की मैन्युफैक्चरिंग है कि पावर जनरेट भी करेंगे? जनरेट
करेंगे ना, पैनल्स हम लोगों ने अपनी फैक्ट्री में लगाना शुरू कर दिया है सब जगह पर। अभी हम लोग 7 मेगावाट तो अपने तेजपुर में लगा रहे हैं, 10-12 मेगावाट मेरा नागपुर में, इन हाउस भी हम लोग लगा रहे हैं और दूसरों के लिए भी हम पैनल भी सेल करेंगे।
तो कब तक आप कमर्शियल करेंगे?
कमर्शियल स्टार्ट हो गया मेरा प्रोडक्शन।
अच्छा, कितना आप मैन्युफैक्चर?
अभी शुरू हुआ है, अभी कुछ दिन से अभी हम लोग प्रक्रिया हमने शुरू कर दी।
इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल और स्टील प्लेयर्स भी आपको अप्रोच कर रहे हैं, तो उसमें कितनी सच्चाई है?
नहीं, वो अप्रोच तो सब करते हैं, लोग लेकर के आते हैं, नई टेक्नोलॉजी लेकर के आते हैं, नई चीज़ों में लोग जोड़ना चाहते हैं। पर हमको लगता है कि हम क्या करेंगे, तो क्या कि बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ों में जाने से संभालना, कंट्रोल करना, क्वालिटी कंट्रोल करना, रिसर्च करना थोड़ा टफ होता है।
आपका जो ब्रांड था परिधान, हमने बात की थी, कपड़ों का ब्रांड था, और उस पर क्या स्टेटस है, कब लॉन्च होगा ये ब्रांड?
परिधान की पूरी तैयारी हो चुकी है, पूरी टीम काम कर रही है, डिज़ाइन और सारी उसके लिए और पूरी प्लानिंग के लिए काम कर रही है। हम विश्वास करते हैं कि इस वर्ष, जैसे मैंने बोला भी था कि 2018 के लास्ट तक में हम लोग करेंगे, तो मुझे विश्वास है कि हम लोग अंतिम तक।
तो ये कोलैबोरेशन जैसा होगा कि
नहीं? हमारा अपना ब्रांड होगा, हम अपने ब्रांड से करेंगे, परंतु हम मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जो है ज़्यादा इन हाउस, मतलब डिज़ाइन इन हाउस करेंगे पर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग थर्ड पार्टी से करेंगे।
और उसका डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कैसे होगा? क्या आप
डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के लिए एक्सक्लूसिव स्टोर की हम प्लानिंग कर रहे हैं, एक्सक्लूसिव अपने शोरूम बनाएंगे और अलग अलग एरियाज़ में और अलग अलग हिसाब से हम लोगों का फोकस्ड एरिया है जो हमारी मेट्रो सिटीज़ के अतिरिक्त भी जो हमारे दूसरे टाउन हैं, शहर हैं, उनमें हम लोग जाने वाले हैं।
तो अप्रॉक्सीमेटली कितने स्टोर्स होंगे परिधान के?
स्टार्टिंग में शायद अभी जो योजनाएं चल रही है हमारी लगभग 100 के लगभग तो हम स्टार्टिंग में खोलेंगे, उसके बाद फिर प्लानिंग करेंगे।
Back, ICICI Securities is on our radar. CLSA has initiated coverage on the stock with a buy recommendation, a target price of 520. But the interesting thing is that the issue price of this company was also 520. However, it had quite a poor listing. It listed on the 4th of April at a price of 435, went on to hit a low of 350. That's about 30% lower than the issue price. As we speak, it's at 360. Shilpa Kumar, the MD and CEO of the company, joins in now. Thanks, Shilpa, for joining in. Let me start with broking, because that's clearly the mainstay of your business. 60 to 65% of your revenue is coming from the broking business. But there you've been losing market share over the last few years. If you could tell us the reason for that and what steps the company is taking to arrest that.
Right. I think, Rima, first of all, good afternoon. Happy to be here. I think if you look at ICICI Securities market share, I think I must first point out that we are still the leader in terms of the broking market share. We are at 9%. And we are also, in a sense, the leader in terms of number of active customers who come onto any brokerage platform. So in that sense, we are still very much at pole position. I think if you kind of look at how we have grown over the years, in the last 4 to 5 years, we have actually added market share. We have moved from somewhere around 4.5% to the current 9% market share that we have. I think our strategy and our focus in terms of how we maintain and grow our market share is really to improve the efficiency of our platforms, to constantly increase the kind of products that we offer, and also in a sense to reach out to more and more Indians across the country to offer them our services. So that remains the fundamental core. I would also like to point out that we have an institutional broking business which already has a kind of fair market share on the domestic institutional side. And of course, we will focus on increasing our market share on the FI side as well.
All right, Ms. Kumar, you're saying that your market share is at around 9% odd. I wanted to ask you how you're planning on shaping up in terms of a revenue mix. Now, your brokerage business used to account for around higher 60s. It's come down to around 64, 63% approximately of your total pie. How do you see it shaping up? Brokerage, distribution, and the likes. What's the ideal mix?
Right. So, the way we look at our kind of, portfolio of products that we offer and therefore the revenue mix, clearly broking is a very important component of what we do and which we do very efficiently. But I think the interesting thing is a customer looks not just at broking, but customer also looks at investing their savings in mutual funds, in life insurance, in other third-party, products. I mean, that could be bonds, it could be gold bonds, very many different things across asset classes. And what we've seen over the last 4 to 5 years is as customers have diversified their savings, in a sense, that impacts our revenue. And actually, we've again added almost 4 to 5 percentage points in terms of non-broking revenue in our mix of, ICICI revenue. So in a sense, that is a diversification which is ongoing. Let me also, tell you that while broking is a business we pioneered, we've been in for 18 years, there are other businesses which are younger with us, some of which I would say is our wealth management business. Also on the institutional side, I would say while we are leaders on the equity capital market side, on advisory, we are still, in a sense, growing our credentials. And as a combination of all of this, with a greater focus on distribution of third-party products, a greater focus on wealth management, and on advisory, that will continue to impact our mix. Even though I just want to point out we will continue to grow broking. So mix will change not because we degrow broking, but more because we outgrow the other businesses.
Okay. Coming to your distribution business, that's also a focus area, but there you seem to be competing with your parent, ICICI. Do you not have any kind of a non-compete with them? Because they could be eating into your pie as well, right?
Right. So, the way traditionally at ICICI we've looked at opportunities is when the opportunity size is very large, it sometimes makes sense, to approach the opportunity in very different ways. And therefore, in ICICI Direct, when you have a lot of customers who like our, let's say, digital platform, who also come to us for their broking business, it's a natural extension for them to do, other businesses that we offer, for example, the mutual fund distribution. So I think in that sense, while we both operate in the same space, I think the fact that the opportunity is large and we bring different things to the table, I think that's the way we kind of look at it.
All right, Ms. Kumar, before we let you go, the markets are trading with a cut of around 70 points today, but ICICI Securities, it's up nearly around 2%. Now, CLSA, they've come out with a note, and they believe that the revenues are likely to grow by nearly around 17% in the next 3 years, on a CAGR basis, as well as profitability could grow by around 20%. Are these numbers doable?
So let me, answer this question by actually looking at the data on the ground. I think it's very clear that in India, the savings pool is diversifying across the country as a whole. So the proportion of money that went into traditional forms of saving, like banking, or even physical savings, like gold and real estate, we are seeing clear trend shift, a structural shift into, I would say, financial, as well as equity and equity-linked products. I think as a player, in this industry, a leading player in this industry, naturally that's something, we would look to kind of participate in. The second thing I'd like to point out is even from a future perspective, if you look at research, I think people like CRISIL have actually put some numbers over there. I think they've said the broking industry can grow around 15% plus. In the years to come. If you look at what they're saying for the mutual fund space and insurance space, I think the numbers are higher than that. And naturally, as a leader, both in the space itself as well as the fact that we're a digital leader, we do hope the new digital financial India, we would look to participate in that growth in a meaningful way.
All right.
Okay. All right. We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining in. Let's just get the intraday chart of ICICI Securities up for you on your screen. That stock has moved up. Post comments coming in from the management at the high point, not at the high point of the day, but a vertical up move as we speak. Get into a break. Then on that note, on the other side, we'll get chatting with Renisha Chenani of Monarch Network Capital.